Hello and welcome to my channel. Why Igbo presidency keeps failing. Truths they don't want to say. Now, when I say Igbo presidency, that does not mean those who are carrying on with the struggle will not carry on with the struggle. That does not stand against the struggle. Like people do say, you don't put your eggs in one basket. So I am not against the struggle before we start. I'm not against the struggle. But while it waits, prior to, by God's grace, Biafra comes, we must get our own cake in Nigeria. And that is why I am here this moment. We must get our own part of the cake. So, we're looking at why Igbo presidency keeps failing. Every 4 years, we talk about it. Every election season, it returns to the headlines. Every time the dream grows, then dies again. We're talking about the Igbo presidency. The question is simple. Why does Igbo presidency keeps failing? Why is it that no Igbo person has been allowed to become president of Nigeria since after the Civil War? Why? Why is it that every time the opportunity comes close, something happens? That is what we are looking at. Let us speak the truth, not to cause hatred, but to awaken the minds of our people. Let us look at the full picture, from history to politics to our own internal mistakes. Note again, before we continue, I am not opposing the Biafra struggle, but I'm looking at why we are still in Nigeria. Now, one of the problems is the historical wound. The ghost of 1967 still speaks. Let's go back. In 1966, a coup happened, the first in Nigeria, after Nigeria gained independence. Many northern leaders were killed. It was blamed on young Igbo officers. Though the truth has finally come out, the truth has been realized. Even a lot of people know the truth, but they kept acting based on what they want to act on. So it was blamed on young Igbo officers. Even though other tribes were part of the plan, the North saw it as a tribal attack. Months later, another coup came, this time from the North, and thousands of Igbo soldiers and civilians were killed. Then came the pogroms, the 1966 pogrom. Igbos were hunted in the North. Businesses were burnt, families were slaughtered. And in 1967, the people of the East said, enough is enough. We declared Biafra. What happened? Nigeria said we cannot go. A war followed. 3 million people or thereabout died. Till today, the wounds have not healed. The wounds of Biafra. Whether they say it loud or not, the Nigerian state has not forgiven Igbo for daring to stand alone. And the presidency is the highest seat in the land. They don't want an Igbo man there. And should I say I'm sorry to say this? It is why Nigeria may never work. That is the first major problem I just listed. Now, the second one is the power structure is not designed for Igbo. Yes, let's speak facts. Nigeria is built in such a way that power rotates between regions. But somehow, the Igbo are always kept when it comes to the region where the Igbos are. We've had presidents from the north, Hausa Fulani, president from the southwest, Yoruba, president from the minority south-south, Ijo, in the name of Jonathan. But the core southeast, the land of Igbo, remains locked out in this selection, or whether seizure of power or selection, whatever you call it, in this mago-mago. So why? Because the Igbo do not control the military. Because we do not control the oil blocks. We do not control the ruling political alliances. And the other one is the deep-rooted power brokers in Aso Rock. So, what happens? Even when we vote, based on their reckoning, our numbers are considered small compared to the North. So, even when we speak, our voices is louder on social media, not in national power circles. What I'm saying is the reality. And when we present a candidate, he is either painted as a tribalist, a threat, or not ready. That is it. Despite all Peter Obi has done in the North, I watched videos, including Reno Mokiri, spreading false news. This is about the time Igbos are saying Peter Obi is not helping the Southeast. Peter Obi has been commissioning projects in the North, helping people. Yet, you hear people like Reno Mokiri and the rest of them. I even saw one video yesterday. Another was saying he built a beer industry in Anambra. That is it the person that will be president? You see, people are, and that is why go to North. Despite that, their people have had a lion's share of ruling Nigeria, but go to North and see. People will rather select based on tribal affiliation rather than who will fix the country. So that is a major problem. So the third one is, there is a North-South political marriage. And that marriage makes no room for the Igbo. Let's be honest. In Nigeria, presidency is about deals, not always merit. So if you talk about merit, you know now. So it's always about deal. The North and the West have an unofficial, you will not say it's official, yeah. It's an unofficial gentleman agreement. They support each other to rotate power. And that is what has been happening. When it comes to the South, apart from Jonathan, it would have been another Yoruba man. You know how Jonathan came to power? The exit of Yaradua. Yaradua died in office. If not, it would have been, after Yaradua has done his 8 years, perhaps another Yoruba man. This has been what is happening. So there is an unofficial agreement between the North and the South. But the Igbo, we have no national marriage with any region. We are often alone. When we speak, they call us noise makers. When we cry, they say we are never satisfied. When we demand fairness, they say we want to divide the country. Now, number 4. I hope some of us are jotting down. These are important points I'm making here. Number 4 reason. The fear of a powerful Igbo president. Nigeria is afraid of a powerful Igbo president. Let us face it. Many in the North and West are afraid of an Igbo president. They fear he will seek revenge for the war, chase their people out of the East, rebuild Biafra through federal power, because the amount of destruction that was done in Igbo land during the war, to them, Nigeria cannot pay for that. When IBB came to Onitsha a particular time, he saw high-rise mansions like you've never seen in any part of Nigeria. He was surprised. He said, this is where we bombed. So, they are afraid of so many things. The fear of the Igbo man becoming president, they are afraid he will do this, do that. He might not actually split Nigeria, but he might rebuild Igbo land. They don't want that. And they are also afraid the Igbo man might expose the corruption that has held Southeast down. Because you hear some people say, there is something written within the walls of Aso Rock or the presidency, never to allow Igbos climb or, make a headway. Whether it's boldly written or it's, a kind of arrangement. When you come there, they tell you this is how it is operated. So, that is the fear. This fear, like we are saying, whether it is real or imagined, has made them to do everything to block every chance. You see many Northerners, oh, Igbo cannot be president. If you ask them why, they don't even know. So the fear has been, it's not something like an accumulation. Many of them do not even know why Igbo Man should not be president, even if it's the Igbo Man that will save them. The elites of the North are deceiving them. And note, even some Igbo haters have said openly, we can vote anyone, but never an Igbo man. So this is the real mindset behind closed doors in Nigerian politics. That's for the Igbo. And until that mindset changes, presidency will continue to escape us. Meanwhile, if Nigeria refuses the right managers to manage this country, na them sabi. Na them sabi. Now, let's talk about us. When we are talking about others, what others are doing to stop Igbo Man from becoming president, let's talk about we Igbos, what we are doing. We have this problem of disunity and ego. We must tell ourselves the bitter truth. The whole problem is not just others. We have our own problems. Look at our internal politics. When it's time to choose one voice, we produce 10 candidates. Let me give you an example. If you cannot even manage small things, how can you manage big things? In 1999, Obasanjo was brought out of prison, perhaps to contest presidency. Yes, I think so. Abacha detained him. Abacha died, and somehow Abubakar took over. Nigeria was transitioning to democratic rule. Ekweme came out. And Ekweme was a good choice for Ndibo at that point in time. Before you know it, Jim Nwobodo and several of them came out. And Igbo's chances were reduced. Our votes in PDP were split. So Obasanjo had an easy ride. It was like a coup against Ekweme. Obasanjo went and became the president. And last, PDP's flag bearer. And what happened? We lost that one. So let's look at our internal politics. When it's time to choose one voice, why do we produce 10 candidates? During Obasanjo's reign, Igbo people had they had opportunity. They were given slots to be Senate presidents. How many of them before Obasanjo's tenure ended? They were fighting themselves. Okadibo will plot, they sack this person before you know, Anyim, Enwerem, I think Okadibo plotted against Enwerem collapsed. Okadibo took on. They plotted against Okadibo. It came to Anyim, Pius, and it was as if they were sharing the seat. Meanwhile, somebody would have continued. So, when someone emerges, some of us start fighting him. Okay, and another example. This one is even surprising. Soludo is from the same state with Peter Obi. But we know how Soludo fought Peter Obi during the 2023 presidential election. And we are sure Soludo is still ready to still fight Peter Obi this time around. So, when someone emerges, some of us start fighting him. We pull him down. We insult him online. We call him names. We remind him of his village. So, other regions protect their own. The Igbo drag their own down. We say things like, he's not from my side. He didn't help me before. He's not the real Igbo man. So, with this kind of mindset, who will trust us with power? Who? Our political parties in the Southeast are not united. Our governors are more loyal to Abuja than to the East. Our youths are fighting among themselves, not forming strong political movements. So, our own case is like a case of the house divided against itself. A divided house cannot stand. This is simple. You know, these and other factors that we have spelled out already. Now, the sixth one, Peter Obi, a glimmer of hope. In 2023, Peter Obi gave many people hope, not just Igbos, but young people across Nigeria. He spoke of integrity, accountability, and vision. He didn't throw insults. He didn't buy votes. He changed the political game in Nigeria. But what happened? They mocked him. They rigged against him. They called him, his supporters, online children. They called them all sorts of names. Obedient, they are rude, obedient this. They said an Igbo man cannot rule Nigeria. Shebi Yoruba man they rule now. Even today, many still believe, and we know Peter Obi was robbed. Now, whether Peter Obi returns in 2027 or not, one thing is clear. The system is deeply against an Igbo presidency. You must note that. And that is why we don't put your egg in one basket. There is other option too. We want a peaceful secession. Yes. But what can we do? What can we do? That's the way forward. Politically, as in people who are still in Nigeria. We must stop begging for presidency like orphans. We are not orphans. Igbos don't have to beg for that. We must build alliances strategically. We must make other regions see the benefit of having an Igbo man lead. We must unite among ourselves and stop fighting each other. You know, let the governors in the southeast work together. Let the political parties in the southeast form strong regional blocs. Let our youth join politics, not only to trend hashtags. That's I'm saying if we want to, our next step forward politically. Let our elders mentor and promote younger leaders, not recycle failures. We must speak with one voice, not 20 voices shouting different things. People like Soludo should learn to, stop Ekonabandiazo. And we must play the long game. Build influence with Senate seats. We must support we have to support other zones when it's not our turn and demand support when it is. Only then can we entrust, build power, and finally sit at the table. So do you think Nigeria will ever allow an Igbo man to become president? Is the problem from Abuja or from us, the Igbo people? Tell us in the comments below. Like this video, share it with others, and follow Igbo Area TV where we speak the truth without fear. I'm Azuka Oje. Bye-bye for now.